D'Angelo Russell broke out in 2019, bumping his scoring to 21 points per night en route to his first All-Star selection, but it was his playmaking that really caught my eye. Russell grew into a top 10 passer in my book, powered by some of the best pick-and-roll playmaking in the league. D'Lo's bread and butter is this left-to-right pocket pass, slipping the ball to roll men at artful, deceptive angles. He blends this bouncer in with his dribble, and it may have even been a dribble, but once the defender leans right, D'Lo's dexterous enough to flick it out for a layup. He's also comfortable slinging this skip pass across his body to three-point shooters, but notice how stationary the set pieces are here. This is antithetical to the Warriors' ball screening tactics over the years, which still occur within the activity of their motion-heavy offense. A ton of Russell's game in Brooklyn last year was orchestrating this spread pick and roll from up top, and that's a rarity in the Golden State offense. Russell also gets into these on handoffs. Once he has space, it's the same game, throwing the defender off balance, and D'Lo's timing on these pocket passes is superb. Brooklyn still featured movement in their offense. Joe Harris occupies attention on this cut, but is really a screener, and that gets Russell a step downhill off the handoff. It's a gorgeous play design and an even better feed from D'Angelo, spotting the lob early and then parachuting it up for Allen. We've seen similar construction in the preseason, with Russell getting downhill off this handoff here. Notice this cut empties the side for D'Angelo, but LA isn't concerned about it and everyone stays home. Russell isn't an explosive athlete who can burst into this crease, almost always settling for mid-rangers like this. And this lack of athleticism puts a speed limit on his scoring efficiency, where he can't easily outquick defenders and he's not springy when he gets into the lane. He methodically carves out low release angles for his left hand as a method to finish, but this isn't super efficient either. Russell's overall accuracy at the rim last year was just in the 21st percentile among guards. This also means he doesn't draw contact, and he only attempted 3 free throws every 75 possessions. If we compare his free throw attempts and shot attempts at the rim to other guards, Russell's hanging out in the wrong neighborhood, down with 3-and-D players and a creaky Chris Paul. All the other prolific shot creators in the league put some pressure on the rim, and this shortcoming led to D'Lo's 53% true shooting, the lowest among the top 35 scorers per 75 in the league. His mid-range touch is impressive, and he's got a solid little floater game too, but these shots just aren't efficient enough to make up 40% of Russell's diet without better returns at the rim and from the outside. He can drop threes in off the bounce, but he's not a great shooter, finishing around the 60th percentile in both catch and shoot and pull-up three-point percentage last season. He hit 39% on catch-and-shoot threes last year, and playing alongside Steph Curry might increase his volume of open triples, but Golden State's lack of any additional playmaking makes a large bump there unlikely. D'Lo still has to play about 15 minutes a game without Steph. Here's more of a spread pick and roll that Golden State can run late in the clock. Russell fires with space, and they can naturally work him into ball screen action with drag screens in transition like this. Note how empty the side is. The Warriors like to overload the weak side on these, and the early screen with space is right in Russell's wheelhouse as a passer. He's not the greatest lob maestro in the world, he's a bit off here, but he'll definitely throw these and could build chemistry with Willie Cauley-Stein as a roll man this year. D'Lo's other passing strengths fit well in Golden State. He's great at finding cutters from all different angles, especially in early offense. This was on display in the preseason, where he effortlessly connected with Curry on this little route here, and if you cut into space, he'll usually find you. His vision in transition and delayed transition is also excellent. In particular, he's looking to find shooters early, and this bodes well for Curry. If he returns, it's easy to see Klay Thompson catching these instead of Joe Harris. To be fair, Russell does have his passing flubs, and he doesn't hit every window. He has the lob right here, but he's certainly one of the game's most creative and effective passers right now, particularly with the ball. His defense is another story though, and since fit in Golden State is more predicated on offensive skills, I won't spend too much time here. Just don't expect much on that end, where Russell's lack of foot speed limits his on-ball effectiveness. He isn't really obliterated by screens, but he doesn't fight through them well either. His size and wit helps him hold up in certain isolation situations, and he will occasionally take risks, sometimes coming up empty, and other times nabbing a steal, but he's not disruptive defensively, and he doesn't really make plays there either, so it's a package that leaves me slightly concerned about him in certain defensive matchups against elite teams. Remember, Brooklyn played lots of zone last year. Most impact metrics view him as a slight negative on defense, and that has him looking more like a top 75 player than an all-star, which I think is more indicative of his value on a typical team. One big question for Golden State is how effective D'Angelo can be off the ball, since he can't move like Klay Thompson, who can run and catch in his sleep, and Klay, like most players, uses off-ball actions to lose defenders in a way he couldn't if he were dribbling. Russell is okay route running off the ball into a catch and shoot, but he's no wide receiver and he isn't always set and square off the catch. Ironically, he actually uses the dribble to shake defenders and make up for a lack of shifty athleticism. Here's one of my favorite Warriors sets, where Kevin Durant operated from the pinch post and could attack if this off-ball activity was closed off. But this isn't Russell's game, and I wonder how much of this elbow series will morph into handoff or pick and roll action. I do think D'Angelo's wily enough to develop his off-ball game a bit more, and playing in Golden State should help his subpar efficiency a touch, but his inability to finish at the hoop limits his growth in my eyes. He is a wizard as a passer, and if other Warriors can develop, specifically a lob threat and a shooter or two like Jordan Poole, Russell could help keep Curryless lineups afloat while diming up Steph when the two play together. Defense does suppress his overall value here, but that's less of a question mark in Golden State, and while I don't think Russell is a great fit in the Bay, his playmaking and shooting, along with Golden State's system and Steph Curry's off-ball gravity, should help propel D'Angelo Russell to a top 50 season in 2020. Podcast fans, check out the giant season preview covering all 16 playoff teams if you haven't, including further discussion on D'Angelo and the Warriors. There's a post-show for Patreon subscribers too. The episode before that is with 538's Nate Silver on their new statistic, Raptor. Really interesting discussion for those who want insight into research on defensive value, how we go about building metrics like this, their weaknesses, and so on. Check those out. Let me know what you think on Twitter at LG35. If you want to support this channel, sign up at patreon.com/thinkingbasketball. Otherwise, I hope you are loving the new season as much as I am and that you're having a great day.